Good afternoon once again from the Shires. Your tour guide here, just heading once again to the train station. About to start another cultural tour, this time pushing a little bit further east than the other week. So we're going to start around Moorgate, Spitalfields, perhaps zone into Shoreditch. A little bit difficult to identify these regions as they all tend to merge into one. At the moment, I'm solo, but I'm planning to meet up with my younger brother, Willie, and hopefully he'll be able to add something. We'll try and bring a little bit of history to the area and some of the atmosphere as usual. Hopefully the last video gave you a flavour of where we're heading with this project. So speak to you soon. Catch up again when I'm nearing the first pub. Take care. Bye. Hello, just arrived King's Cross St Pancras, just crossing the concourse at King's Cross now, which seems to have changed an awful lot in the last 20-30 years. Back from the days when there was ladies plying their trade on the King's Cross quite regularly, it's now a pleasant concourse with places to eat and street food and all those kind of things. And there's a chap here, got a little drum kit and he's bashing away some things. I don't know, maybe you can even hear him as we go past. It doesn't appear to have raised much money, it's fair to say, but that's not entirely surprising given the musical output. Okay, I'm heading off now towards Farringdon Way, so catch up with you soon. Cheers. So I've just passed the site of the taxi oil leak debacle from last time and noted that it was right by the side of the Queen's Head on Acton Street, which is another great pub actually, although once again we did have a run-in with the bar manager at one point a few years back. Big Dave and I were engaged in some in-depth discussion with some ladies from Canada, I think it was, and on buying a drink I was shortchanged and remonstrated with the chap behind the bar, who mistakenly thought I'd called him something quite unsavoury, but it wasn't actually the case. But nonetheless, it was taken the wrong way, and we were summarily ejected, and to much cursing and cussing from Big Dave, of course. Anyway, thought I'd relay that old tale, and we'll carry on the walk. Cheers, bye. Right, well, I've just popped in a pub which looks like it's been rebranded actually, because it says the Eastern on it, and unfortunately followed by the words pub and kitchen. Nevertheless, it looked nice, so I with a nice green metro tiled outside, so I nipped in, and lo and behold, no car scale of course, and hordes of people sitting down for their works Christmas dinner by the looks of things. So sadly didn't get to stay and find out more about their beer offering. They had that ubiquitous so-called Beavertown stuff that they serve in children's glasses with coloured plastic on the outside, so I didn't bother with one of those obviously, and carried on my way. So I think I might try and sneak into I think it's the Horseshoes actually, just round the corner from Betsy Trotwood, and see if we can find something more palatable in there. Alright, catch up soon. Alright, inside the Horseshoe now, just having a quick half a Guinness because the 4 real ale pumps are off, unfortunately. Nice little boozer though, L-shaped bar, upstairs and outside smoking, drinking area. Looks like some sort of rooftop affair. Very keen on their darts in here, 2 dart boards as well, both on the go at the moment. So just a half a Guinness for me on this one, and on to the next. But I like it here, sort of a nice atmosphere. Right, fair whip through Clerkenwell there, and past the Crown once again. And then on through to Sutton Street, Great Sutton Street. I think we're going to find the Sutton. Well, there's a slaughtered lamb in front of us, but it's got some sort of jazzy sign, so that's put me right off. A more traditional looking pub, or at least a more traditional looking sign at the Sutton Arms. But what a marvellous thing it is to be in a place where you have so many pubs in such close proximity. I can't think there's anywhere else in this country where it's so magical and such a rich source of enjoyment and hedonism. But oh dear, I've just come across the Sutton and I see they have pink painted tables or pink plastic tables outside. Or hang on, no, false alarm, that's a restaurant next door. But very good. So I might nip in here for a half, or I might press on. I'll let you know afterwards. Well, I did have a swift half in the Sutton, and it was almost nice. Something not quite right. There's 4 real ales on, number of other beers, regular lagers. A bloke came up to the bar and said, "Can I get 4 pints of Guinness?" Well, I really hate that. Can I get? What's wrong with please may I have? A modern idiom that I hope dies a nasty death. Anyway, I'm heading now off towards the Two Brewers, which was one we passed a couple of weeks back. Never got a chance to go into because we're on a bit of a tight schedule. So I'll nip in there on the way to meeting little brother and see what that's like. But it was very busy last time, and it seems like it's even busier this week. We're right up to Christmas now, and there's paper hats aplenty and people already enjoying themselves at around about 4:30 in the afternoon. So I'll speak to you again soon, catch up soon, and let you know how we get on. All right. Well, so far so familiar. I'm now on the corner of Fortune Street and Whitecross Road. So that means we're at the site of the Two Brewers, and also, of course, the famous area from which Pris Fotheringham, we described briefly last time, hails from. So I've done a bit of digging since then, and actually I must apologise for some inaccuracies on the last commentary. She wasn't in fact around in the 19th century, but was in fact the 17th century. And Pris came originally from Scotland, perhaps in a long tradition of escort girls, comes to London, who knows. And she became very famous and very rich. And although she was only the second best whore in London, according to the diary of a certain gentleman who I'm about to find out about, John Garfield, who was a fellow prisoner at Newgate. Nonetheless, she had a few tricks up her sleeve, and one of which was this interesting parlour game she called chucking. Now, that involved quite some gymnastics, I have to say, and Pris would stand on her head, naked this is, legs akimbo, and invite gentlemen to throw half crowns into her, what do they call it, a commodity, I think they euphemistically called it in those days, and some wag later on said, well, she was coining it in, and indeed she was, because she became so rich that she opened a number of brothels, both for the low-end market and the high-end market, and retired a wealthy woman, in spite of dying eventually of syphilis, which was probably the downside to it all. She was once described as a cat-eyed gypsy beauty as well, which takes some imagining. But unfortunately her looks were taken away when she contracted smallpox and was bathed in mercury to cure some of these venereal ills that I think she acquired. So nonetheless, a very interesting life, and she partnered up this another woman. Let me find her name here. Well, two actually, Elizabeth Creswell and Damarose Page. Now, the three of them together came up with this petition to petition, ironic petition really, or satirical, whichever way you like to look at it, to Lady Castlemaine, who was Charles II's lover. And Lady Castlemaine was quite known to put it about a bit herself. And so the petition was ironic because it followed the Bawdy riots around that time, the 1660s, where the apprentice boys who couldn't actually afford to go to the brothels smashed them all up. And they asked Lady Castlemaine to contribute to the rebuilding funds, as she was a sister of theirs. So, yes, amusing times way back then as well. But, that's the latest on Pris. Really a remarkable woman in many ways, I would have thought. So, I'm just going to nip in the two brewers now and raise a glass to her. Cheers for now. That was a little interesting stop, the two brewers. I have to say, it was pretty much everything that Sutton Arms wasn't. Decent pint of Harvey's, or half actually, I only had a swift half of Harvey's, and some jolly fellows enjoying their pints in there as well. Had a nice atmosphere. Yeah, it was well decorated. It was sort of bright, but not too bright. Candles. Well, there we go. Sometimes they add an ambience, don't they? So yeah, I liked it in there. I'll go back there. So now I'm pressing on for the Globe. But I'm on a bit of a tight schedule to meet Little Brobe. I'm going to go down the Globe to Moorgate if I can get there. I don't think it's that far actually. It always seems much further on the map than it actually is. I've got the Jugged Hare in my sights, but I've heard that's a gastro pub, so I'll give that a swerve. And back online soon. Right, so I find myself amongst some skyscrapers, I suppose you'd say. One in particular I can see is called City Point, not Centre Point, and there's some sort of luminous flowers in a square that they've given over to not a skyscraper. The British Red Cross is here, but what a despicable hellhole this is. How the hell have they managed to build these monoliths, these disgraceful, characterless constructions? Which seems to be oozing the worst kind of people. I see a bar over there. My God, it looks dreadful. No, it isn't. It's a street vendor of some sort of description. And there's some shops. But if this is the best that London can offer? I'm words fail me, frankly. This is absolutely awful. But anyway, hopefully salvation will come in the form of the Globe. Oh look, another bloody pret a manger. They seem to be every 50 yards in this city. Right, I'm going to press ahead because I need to meet my schedule. Moorgate Station. Oh, well, that doesn't look too bad. That's quite a nice piece of architecture. But really and truly, this part of London with this incessant building is just unforgivable, frankly. Unforgivable. Well, salvation has come, actually, not only in the form of the Globe, which looks quite attractive from the outside, I'm just about to enter, but also in the form of the Armoury Hall, which is dead opposite, and the Armoury and Braziers Hall, which was rebuilt, I believe, in the 18th century, which is a magnificent building, and the home of the Guild of the Armourers, well, the guys that actually built suits of armour back in the day. So that's quite a something. And actually, this is built also on the Roman ruins and also the London Wall. And it's a stable here. There was a stable here where Keats was born. But it is looking very, very busy, and there's people spilling out onto the street. So I'll just see if I can get in and grab myself a pint. Cheers. Bye. Well, unfortunately, that was particularly shit. I had read that the Globe had a refurb, which is never the R word is never a good thing to hear when you're about to go to a pub. Not only that, it was brimming with pseudo-city people, office workers that probably have ideas of their station. And like the previous pub, actually, just so male-orientated. I mean, like I've said in the past, no bad thing, but you need some balance. We're talking about sort of a 90-10% split, I would suggest. So I'm looking forward now, actually, to heading back up to Spitalfields and hopefully some semblance of real life. I had had a little look at the old King's Head. Much bigger than it looks from the outside. On the inside, I met up with little Willie, and we're going to proceed now down to the 10 Bells in Spitalfields. See if we can find a more amenable place to grab a pint. Failing that, it's on to the Pride of Spitalfields, which should be a banker for at least somewhere to sit and a decent pint. Anyway. Outside the 10 Bells in Spitalfields, rowdy crowd indeed. Not even going to attempt to go in, to be honest. It does look great, I'll be honest with you. It looks really nice and inviting inside. Island bar, lots of folk enjoying themselves. Flock wallpaper, by the looks of things. A nice marble outside, and right outside the church from which the pub gains its name, because apparently. Oh, hang on. My drinking companion says we're going to go in. Are we sure? All right, then let's go in then. If you say so. And we've just wandered down via Brick Lane to the Pride of Spitalfields, which is exactly as I remember it, full of Draylon. Quite an old pub actually, dating back to the 16th century again. I expect Pepys drank here because he seems to have drunk in most of the pubs in London. And like everywhere in Spitalfields and Whitechapel, there's a Ripper connection, and apparently one of the suspects, a chap named James Hardiman, a cat meat vendor of all things, lived a few doors down and drank in the Spitalfields, which in those days was called the Romford Arms, since the beer was supplied by the Star Brewery in Romford. But that's all we really know about the Pride of Spitalfields, aka the Romford Arms. But it is a lovely pub, quite bijou. You can get a pint, get a seat, Fuller's ESB, Fuller's London Pride, and I had some other stuff which was not really to my taste, but nonetheless it was a cask ale. So onwards and upwards now. So we're off now to the Carpenter's Arms, and with some more murderous connections going on there. Just need to add a slight correction to that. Something else did happen in this pub, in so much as David Gray, he of White Ladders fame in the late 90s, recorded a video for his single Sail Away. So, yeah, good old David. I don't know what happened to him since then. And, of course, the pub wasn't built in the 16th century. It was actually built just about 200 years ago, mid-19th century. So, my bad there, and Pepys never drunk here. So, sorry about that. Cheers for now. On the way to the Carpenter's Arms now from the Pride of Spitalfields. Reputedly, well, not reputedly, actually, the place where the Ronnie and Reggie went, because, well, and they obviously went because they bought it for their mother Violet. I think it was 1967 in actual fact. And there were some rumours that the bar tops were made from coffin lids, which seems a little bit far-fetched, but nonetheless we're going to go investigate, and we'll report back once we've had our libation, and we'll let you know a little bit more once we've been inside and had a good look around. All right, take care. So inside the Carpenter's Arms now, just off Brick Lane as it turns out, in Spitalfields, Whitechapel, again, who's to know, and it's no real evidence of its murderous past, I have to say. There's quite an interesting thick curtain you have to walk through as you come through the entrance, a little bit reminiscent of an Amsterdam brown bar, but I don't really see the point because all the windows you can see through, so not really for any secretive purposes, perhaps just for draft exclusion. Anyway, ironically, seems quite gay friendly in here. Number of same-sex couples, which is all to be applauded in this day and age, and some nice draft ale. My little brother, little Willie, who's not very effusive, as you've noted tonight, said it's the best pub he's been into for a long time, so that speaks volumes. Have you got any comments, Willie?
Favourite pub?
There we are, a man of few words, but when he says something, it's worth listening to. All round a tick in the box. Beer apparently was, how much was the beer, Willie?
About £11 something.
£11 something for 2 pints. Willie has a pint of local stout, or porter. What was it called? What is that stuff called, actually, Willie?
London Black.
London Black. So we don't really know what that. Might have a sip of it in a minute, just so that I can give you some more feedback. I've got another fairly hoppy beer, which not 100% to my liking, but not better than the last one. Anyway, so far so good. We're going to keep you posted. As I say, none of the murderous history of the place seems to be apparent when you get inside. A new broom and all that, but very picturesque, nice. We'll come back. A little addendum to our trip at the Carpenter's Arms, where it was rumoured that the bar was made from old coffin lids. I didn't really give that much credence until I spotted one section at the end which was curved in a rather sort of coffin-y way. So maybe, just maybe, there's some truth in that rumour. All right, we're off to the Prince Arthur now. Report soon. Unfortunately, Willie's reporting a little bit of Brillo pad arse, and he feels like he's been bummed. I don't know if that's. And I suggested, well, given that you already feel like that, perhaps you should just get on and do it. But he's a bit reluctant to talk. What's the matter?
I don't want to be bummed.
He doesn't want to be bummed. Go on, speak up so the camera can hear.
I don't want to be bummed.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those things, isn't it? Have you ever been pegged, Willie?
I've never been pegged.
He says that, but we don't know. He has got a Polish fiancée, so who knows what's possible. Right, anyway, one last word to Willie, just in case you've got anything to add before we go to the next pub, which is the Prince Arthur, which the last time I went there was in fact managed by a, well, I think it was a gay girl. I mean, not that that's relevant, but I suppose if we're talking pegging, it might be. Anyway, Willie, anything to add?
Can we go back to the other pub?
No. Well, I don't know where we are exactly, but we're somewhere in Shoreditch. We've just come across this amazing little bandstand, Rochelle Street, and it's a roundabout, and up the roundabout, right in the centre, there's a little park and an illuminated bandstand. I mean, this is fairly typical of what you can do, or what you can arrive upon, if you just wander the streets of London. So I'm going to take a little photo and post it with the podcast and let you all enjoy it. And if I find out more about it, I'll add some history. A fork in the road. What do we do now? Another bloody pret-a-manger that looks like it's taken over a pub. Right, I think we've made a mistake already, so we might just compound our error by going straight on over there and bearing sort of northwest rather than southwest. All right, let's carry on. We'll be in the. You take the high road, and we'll be in Prince Arthur before ye. Good pint in the Prince Arthur, as always. Great pub. Been there before. Still rate it, actually, on the third or fourth visit. Not too busy. I can't remember what pint I had, but it was a decent real ale anyway. My little bro had to have cider though. Guinness has gone out because apparently there's too many people drinking that stuff. Thank you, Gen Z, etc. So we're off now to the next. I don't know where we're going to go. Possibly the Britannia, because after all, it is my new favourite pub. All right. Well, we'll catch up soon, and thanks for bearing with us so far. Sorry, he's been less than effusive on this pub tour. But by the way, the Prince Arthur. A couple of little facts. There was formerly run by a boxer from the 1960s, a featherweight guy, Dixie Dean. Had a few professional fights, but ran the pub for 35 years after retiring from boxing, which is quite an achievement. And outside, the bollards are made from Napoleon cannons. So how about that? It's a little fact to take away with you. All right, on to the next one, and we'll be with you soon. Take care. Bye. So working my way back to King's Cross now, and I'm on Skinner Street, and I've just seen the most iconic, that's not the right word, nostalgic maybe, block of flats from probably from the 60s that remind me of Mary, Mungo and Midge. So if anybody has that point of reference in them. And the Corporation Row as well, and a little garden here as well next to me. So all very... well, it's just wonderful, really. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm lost for words because I've had a few pints. But it's an indictment of London that you can have the new and the old and the green all next to each other, and they all join together, and somehow it works. Every time I come here, I see something new, and I enjoy it even more. And there's a kids' play park here I can now see, and I just think it's a wonderful place, and I will keep coming back until I discover it all. So there we are. Happy days. I'm happy to be here. Spitalfields, there we are. That's what it's called. Spitalfields Islington. It's labelled, and overlooked by this Mary, Mungo and Midge block of flats. And that'll be lost on most of you, but maybe a few people will get the cultural reference. All right then, see you soon. Right, so I've regained my bearings and walked through what I think is now called Exmouth Market or something like that, and I've just passed the Exmouth Arms, which is a beautiful looking pub, to be fair, but the whole street where it is full of people dining outside. Bearing in mind this is December, well, nearly Christmas, and everybody's outside having a whale of a time, it seems. But I have to say, nothing I'd want to go in. Inviting for many, I'm sure, but for me this is no moon underwater. And let's face it, this is our pursuit, and this is not what I want. But encouraging to see people out, that's always good. But I have to say, not my cup of tea, quite frankly. But hey, there you go. It's got to be something for everyone, hasn't there? I wish there was more for me, obviously. But that's my cross I'll have to continue to bear. Oh, some prick here trying to turn around in the middle of the road and got a fucking clue what he's doing. You useless twat. Oh. Did I record that? Sorry. For the second time in as many visits, I've just seen a fox scamper into the Royal Mail sorting on... Is it the Gray's Inn Road? I think we're on the Gray's Inn Road. Anyway, yeah, twice. Just bold as brass, marching around here like it was the middle of the countryside. Red foxes. There you go.